What?
This is our project 122A. I'm Andrew Carrillo.
I'm Matthew Gauldin.
Edgar Lopez.
Bill Soehner.
And Montgomery.
Now,
I don't know what I said.
Victory!
I think the arrow.
You had to double tap the screen.
What did I hit? Oh.
Just use the swing on my ear.
my role was to be a health and safety engineer and environmental engineer. What I do is pretty much make everything safe for us to work in the conditions like electrical or like any new products we using. We will test it and see if it's safe for us. And environmentalist is like where to get rid of sewage after like someone uses the house, or just to get rid of land. Luckily we didn't need to because the house was already built on a piece of land that was removed from trees, so there's no ground damage there.
I was an architect and architectural engineer, so like I would say, taking part in the actual blueprints and designing of the house. We didn't really design the whole house because, like you said, it's already there. Pretty much we just have to renovate it. So basically, we have to make sure everything that we do is going to be safe and that it's going to all withstand whatever it needs to.
Oh, my part was the cost estimator and the commissioning agent. What I had to do was find all the prices for everything we're going to buy, like solar panels and like the wood was drawn. Then we had to buy new wood and brick. And commissioning agent is just to make sure that everything's working properly and it meets all the needs that we need.
I was the urban planner, kind of like landscape architect, civil engineer, site planner guy. So I kind of decided where like shrubs and trees would go, and like where the driveway would go, and how we'd make the driveway to make sure it's eye appealing. And I'd make sure that like the struts in the house were safe, because I'm a civil engineer as well. So.
And then I am the interior designer, and so obviously you just design the inside and come up with a plan for that. And then the building inspector and code enforcer, that's just basically like they said with a lot of the other their duties. That's just making the house most efficient that it can be and safe as it can. Checking on that.
This was our scenario. Basically, there's an 18th century farmhouse, and it had 10 acres of, it says forested land, but it was already cleared. And it was owned by a former U.S. president, who just read it. And there had been some renovations to it, but not all of them were good renovations, so we have to repair those. And then there's some things that just need to be renovated, and it's starting to crap out on us, so we gotta fix it.
Who we're doing it for is this historical society, the Madison County Historical Place. They were developed in like July of 2005. What they do is that in their little neighborhood, they find locations that are historical and they preserve them or protect them, and they keep account of what they do on them. So this will go perfectly for this house because it was owned by a former president and they want to renovate it.
The location is at Hood's Fort, Mason County, Washington. It's about 10.3 acres, and the price is about $1.7 million.
Okay, the exterior design, as we have here, is the farmhouse French style. So, so this would be a house that would be there in the time period, made out of brick and such. Yeah, and we thought this would be the best design because it fits the time period the best. Also, this is the SketchUp thing we made on it, and as you can see, it kind of looks like those other pictures I just showed you. And some of the improvements we made was we put solar panels in the driveway and the garage for the people who may live there or will live there. there's some shrubs and things in the front of the house, make it more aesthetic.
Going green, Washington is actually one of the cleanest states that we have today because of all the trees, but also it has a tax or like a ban on chemicals, certain chemicals like fluorinated flames. I don't really understand what those are, but they actually encourage you to go green in their little state.
Once we had the house and then all of our land was open, we had to decide what to put on it. And originally the house was kind of like plain, I guess, so we didn't really want to stray too far from that since we were trying to repair it so it keeps its historical value. So we added some trees like you just saw, and then some shrubs for aesthetic. That's right.
And then for the interior design, everything in that time period is very classic and very simple, and so they have very simple, like warm colors such as whites or creams. And then so like those pictures are a little bit of old and new mixed in, so you mixture everything. And then the design of the homes in the room, it was very like straightforward, and the rooms were very square, and so there wasn't much, I guess, character to the rooms necessarily. And the house was usually 1 to 2 stories. Oh, this is also. And then for the codes, there wasn't like necessarily that many codes I had to follow because the house was already there. So it wasn't as many as like us building it from scratch. And so basically just how to meet fire codes, so like there needed to be a window in every room so that way you could escape, and then needed to, like everything needed to work properly, so like electrical and pipes and the water system and everything. And then the expecting, basically all I had to do was just look through the house, make sure everything was efficient, there was no like water damage, nothing was rotting, wasn't falling apart, wouldn't hurt anyone.
Okay, the cost for the land, like I said earlier, was $127,000, and then for like a membership to be able to visit, like a lifetime is $200, and the solar panels were about $30,000 each, and we were wanting to get 4, so it's gonna be $120,000.
The $30, it was like a deal where they get the solar panels. It's including all the stuff you need to hook it up, and the $30,000 plus adding it to a, how do you call it? It's not only solar panel; it's also hooked up to the other electrical
grid.
Yeah, that.
So they'll pay for themselves.
Yeah.
Why'd you need 4?
Just thought 4 was a good number, good even number.
They said there was no limit on money, so we're like 4.
Okay, so the solar heaters and solar water heaters is up to $10,000, and then the interior for all of it is gonna be around $2,000. The septic tank, we wanted a concrete one, and it'd be $10,000 with $11,000 with installation.
And that included all the digging out the hole, putting it in, and covering it back up and connecting it.
And for the bricks, it was 52 cents each brick, and with all the calculations and stuff, it was going to be up to $14,300. And then for the repairing dry rod is about $358. And total of all that's $284,858.18.
And that's all she wrote, basically. Even that won't go.
Any questions for this group?
So is it going to be just like a museum that you can visit, or is it actually going to be moving on?
I believe we made it a house for the society.
Yeah. It could be either one, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Since they've already set up in that they want to be in their state.
Yeah.
Was the garage on the house already?
Yeah.
No, we added that.
You added it? Where's the cost of adding the garage?
It's in with the brick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You fit it in with the brick.
It's not a bad price for a garage. Looks a little low.
14-foot garage.
Yeah. A bricked garage. Any other questions? has any other questions? If you don't ask questions, your grades go down.
What?
Yep.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Let's do more towards their project.
What color were the bricks?
I don't know.
Red.
They were the standard
Did you
ones.
enjoy this
What
project
president's
and
house
have
was it?
fun creating the
It didn't tell us.
SketchUp. Abraham Lincoln's public site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we
Just decided
decided.
Abe, even though he probably was never in Washington.
Alright, now let's do another section here. Let's do a little bit of a critique so that they can improve. Critique them. Now,
I've used
don't
more
do
solar
it,
panels.
don't do it too bad because you're gonna get it back. But give them some constructive criticism. Yeah, the 4 solar panels,
Yeah.
if you can't justify it with math, that's why I said that.
Yeah.
You need to be able to justify it. You know, there should be, if there was some calculations there, I could go for it. This, I don't know if I'm buying, because what you're doing, you're selling it to a planning commission, trying to make sure that they're going to be okay with this. I don't know if I'm okay with this. You're
We need
ruining
4
the
solar panels.
solar
That's
panels
how many we need.
are ruining the historical value of the house. Most historical houses don't have solar panels. So you've got to be able to sell me on why we need those. You didn't do a good job selling me. I'm the homeowner. I'm the one that owns it, or I'm whatever. I'm making the decision. I don't know why we need the 4. Like you didn't sell me that
You
part.
want to pay for your electricity, you want to get it for free.
You didn't say that.
Paying 120 grand for your electricity.
And you're asking me to put 120 grand in there.
Are you stupid?
You are.
You realize I'm getting
But he's
120
right.
grand back.
We don't know that. You didn't prove that to us.
In about 30 years.
Jesse,
Okay.
listen up.
More often than not, with historical houses, you will see a lot more nature than what you guys did have. Like you did have some, but more often than not, they want to make it really blend in, so they will have a lot more flowers, shrubs, trees.
Have you ever been to Fayetteville, around by the square in the downtown?